Good evening, football enthusiasts. I'm Stuart Woodrow, and you're watching the CADS Call, where we talk football, sometimes with a side of sarcasm, but always with genuine passion. Today's debrief, the FA Cup clash, where Tottenham Hotspur eked out a 1-0 win against Burnley. Not quite the goal fest we hoped for, but then again, football is not always a fireworks show. Spurs walked away with a victory yesterday, slender enough to make a Diet Club proud. We'll dissect how a single goal was enough to separate glory from despair, and whether Barnsley's defence was more Great Wall or garden fence. It's all about the finer details and maybe a bit of banter because, let's face it, what's football without a bit of a laugh? So let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this nail-biting 1-0. No need for likes or subscriptions if you're here for that. If you're here for the football, and that's what you'll get, but feel free to join the conversation in the comments. Now onto the match analysis, where the only thing offside is our occasional sense of humour. Gentlemen, welcome back. Austin, it's good to see you. It's been what, 3 episodes without you. It didn't feel the same, I'll be honest.
Thank you very well. The language was a lot better without me.
The language was cleaner. The language was definitely cleaner.
I would like to pull you up because I think you mentioned Barnsley rather than Burnley at one stage during the intro.
Oh, God. See, it's always there, isn't it? There's always that risk if you go with them. But never mind, it's fine. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And do I look like a media professional? We've only got one media professional amongst us, and that is Ash. How you doing, Ash?
Hey, guys. From the sunny
west. In case you didn't, everybody didn't know, Ash is actually a Hollywood writer for magazines and all kinds of articles, websites and things like that. So check out his stuff. It's definitely worth a check out, worth a look. So how was everybody? Did they all enjoy the game?
Nope.
No, you didn't enjoy the game.
And enjoyed the result.
Right, that's a good start.
I thought there were 1 or 2 promising touches, I have to say, but as a cohesive performance, I thought it was severely lacking.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Why, Austin? Why do you think that?
Well, we're playing such a fragmented team. I mean, okay.
There you go. There you go.
We made. Sorry, my mind has gone slightly because I've been asleep for most of the last 7 days.
It's the painkillers.
Well, there've been a lot of painkillers. It has to be said.
Yeah,
but
okay.
he made He made what's his face skipper when I was fully expecting it to be Ben Davies. But I like the fact that he went for someone who was a dynamic forward-thrusting midfield player. I thought Johnson showed good touches, particularly in the first half. I thought his instant control was excellent, and a couple of his passes were first-rate. But just we gave the ball away so many times again, and that's been a feature of certainly our last 2 or possibly 3 games. We give the ball away, and so just at a time when we're starting to build momentum, we give it away.
Why? Why are we doing that?
Because we're not good enough.
We were in the first 10 games.
But in the first 10 games, we had a full team. In the last...
you keep missing the point. You said fragmented and then full team. You should emphasize that is the real reason why, you know?
Oh, yes, I know. But I look at each individual performance because it's Spurs. So, yes, and I think people ignore the fact that for a lot of the last few games, we've been without 5 of our major players. Possibly
6 starters were not there yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Bissouma, Maddison,
Sarr,
Van der Ven.
Yeah,
that is Sonny. A big miss. But
Sonny.
The players that are in there, Bentancur, the players that are in there should be capable of stringing passes together, and they seem unable to do so on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'd like to probe that further, but just my general takes, if I may. It's great to get out of a cup game with a win.
Yeah,
we've been going out so meekly in the last several seasons. Actually, Ange put out, I think, given those 6 missing players, the strongest team that he had available.
Yeah.
even with four fullbacks, and it's just good. First of all, also Burnley, they tactically played us really well. That's also another thing. It just irks me when people just fail to say that, well, Burnley set up really well. They've got a good manager, and they frustrated us, but so I'm happy that we actually got into the fourth round. My hometown of Newport only drew, so they're into the fourth round draw at least anyway, So that's just my general thing. I wouldn't mind seeing, Stu, what you think about. Yes, I have seen the passes going astray. What is going on? I don't know.
What did I think? I think if Richarlison had a left foot, we'd have been 2 goals up by half time.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think probably an unpopular opinion, but I think Brennan Johnson probably had his best game for us so far.
Yeah.
He was very dangerous. There was a sublime touch very early on in the game. Ball got pinged over to him, and he just killed it dead straight into his path. It was lovely. We've had some very, very good players at Spurs, and that was up there with the best of them, I think. So, I mean, that is the kind of thing I hope we're going to be seeing more of. And that's what Anne just said. There's a lot of potential in the player to come out, and, we'll see that in the future. What else did I think? Oliver Skipp, another player who I think got a fairly harsh set of reviews around the place. And I thought he was industrious. He was hardworking. He had some very nice passes early on in the game. Faded a little bit as the game went on, and wasn't surprised to see him subbed. But, really not as terrible as people said. Yeah, I thought there were some good things. There was one pass in the 68th minute. Davis, a beautiful part. I mean, I had to look again. I thought it was Bentancur had done that pass. I wouldn't, it was a really, really nice pass, and we deserved to win the game, even though Burnley had the better chance in probably the first half of the match when they were clean through. But yeah, a little bit disappointing to hear we've got 2 more injuries. But we also have a new addition to the squad, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. What do you think, Ash?
Oh, it is horrible because we were thinking of the Davies, and I agree with Bentancur, that was fine. Davies maybe being temporary captain, but I thought he had another solid game. He has been so solid for us, playing every single game, and maybe that sort of that much activity contributed to his. What did he do, his hammy or something like that? It's just really unfortunate. Because, you were thinking like, wow, Van de Ven might have to wait to get in. We don't have to push to get Van de Ven in because we actually have somebody who can be solid enough to be in there. So kind of sad about that because, of course, Ange will just go, okay, who's next? Yeah, I'm just happy for the win and welcome the new players who are coming back and any new players this window.
We certainly have players back. The Davis thing, I've got a feeling Ange expected to take Davis off and bring Van de Ven on. I mean, if we'd been in a 2-goal lead, I think he'd have said, okay, we'll take the risk. Van de Ven comes on. He didn't want to start with someone who was going to guarantee to bring off. But I mean, also it's a huge vote of favour in favour of Bentancur, because he's a player that's just come back from injury, who, after a very long injury, the layoff just before that, I thought he did really well. There were some very, very nice things. Once again, it looked like he was playing in slippers. It looked like he could get away with it. He's just so good. Just really, really impressed by him. And there were some very, very nice bits of football in that, but there were times where we slowed things down and made things difficult for ourselves. Every time we lost the ball, Burnley, see, I can get it right. Burnley did shuffle back and make sure that they got in position very, very quickly. And at times we slowed things down. I have to say Kulusevski was probably the worst of that. So I certainly think we missed having the presence of Sonny up top. Richarlison can do a good job. Richarlison has obviously scored 5 goals in 5 games before this one. So, there's no real worries about can he score goals, but just, is he the kind of player that's going to take 2 players out of the way? Has he got that aura? I don't think he is. Not yet. Maybe he will.
With Richie, I'm more concerned with the number of chances he misses, because if we'd converted half the chances that he's missed in the last 5 or 6 games, we'd probably have been significantly further up the league.
Isn't it always the way with a striker, though? I mean, that's always the way with strikers. You count the ones that they miss more than the ones that they score a lot of the time.
Yes, you do. When some of them miss, but because he's offside, and when some of them miss one-on-one when he's with the keeper and he puts it past the post, when you're used to, and we've been spoiled with Harry, because Harry never, no, he did occasionally,
He
but
did miss. No, he
rarely
did.
was past
I
the
would
post.
watch games, and he four chances, he'd score one, great goal, and he'd miss 3. But that's Harry's mentality. I'm just going to keep going. Sorry, you know.
Yeah, that Harry was a very singular focused player.
Yeah.
And there's not many players with that level of focus, to be honest. And that's why he's done so well as he has. I mean, he's clearly a very, very talented footballer, but he's got talent and the application that goes with it.
Which
And
is probably,
although
elite.
it takes a hell of a lot of having the right kind of stuff to get to being a Premier League footballer.
Absolutely.
To get to being a professional footballer at any level takes the right kind of stuff. So someone to then make it and establish themselves again takes just that cut more. So for someone like Harry Kane, who came through, went on some loans which weren't always that successful, but did okay, and a few of them, come back, make the starting spot his own, then go on, having been called a one-season wonder, then go on to put about 9 seasons of one-season wonderness together.
Yep.
Become England's number 9, and do so well for England, because it's not often he's let England down. Just the idea of him in the side makes England better. I haven't watched a lot of England over the last couple of years because of reasons, because of Russia and things like that, and Qatar. I've generally tried to stay away from supporting that kind of thing. But having Harry Kane in our side made Tottenham a better side. And I'm still sure if he was with us, we'd be a better side now.
Well, I think without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Once again, I still don't think the Bayern Munich move was great for him, but still, that was his choice. That was his choice. He wanted to go. He wanted to try out something new. I hope he's enjoying it. I hope he's having fun. Clearly, he's scoring a shed load, but it's where are Spurs now, and what have we got up next? So
well, looks like Harry's got a new golfing partner anyway shortly.
Okay. Yes, and by the time we may even get some money for Eric Dyer. What is going on there? Who thought? Okay, several things have astounded me in the last few days. First of all, Ryan Sessegnon set foot on a pitch before Van der Ven. I was absolutely sure Van der Ven would be back first, and Sessegnon would be like another 3 weeks away. I expected to see him in February at the earliest, because we've had almost nothing about him, really. A lot of the focus has been on the injured players who we expected to get back earlier, the Madisons, the Van der Vens, maybe not Romero, because we know his timeline a little bit more clearly. But to see Sessegnon come onto the pitch yesterday was like, oh, yes, good to see him, because there's some quality in there. I think potentially he's got to get over a little personal mental hurdle, because to me it didn't look like he has full confidence in himself at the moment.
Or his hamstrings.
Or I mean, you can imagine he's had so many trouble with his hamstrings that there's got to be that concern. And maybe it'll take a few games for him to play without them going ping, and get through a few training sessions, and maybe then he'll start to think, okay, I can do this again. But he was getting in the right spots yesterday. He was doing the right thing a lot of the time, but he just seemed to be half a second off the pace, maybe quarter second.
Yeah, and that's between the ears.
Yeah, that's between years.
I'm sure that with some time with Ange and some time with the squad, then we'll start to see the benefit, if he's actually got that skill, which I think he has. I think he's looked like a quality player. He just needs the belief. And I think when he's played as little as he had in the last 5 years, then I'm not surprised that he's lacking in confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I've had knee injuries, 2 of them, and it's for me, it was impossible for me to get back to where I was. But I don't have the level of care that these guys do. I hope that he's getting well looked after. I hope that he's got people taking care of him and making sure that he's got everything he needs, because there's a really good player in there. There really is, you know, and left-footed, and he's got the ability to attack down that side. He can come inside. There is a potential for him to, you know, dovetail with a doggy, you know, maybe play that left winger role, which I thought he did reasonably well at times yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, but then we can also look at a number of other players that have come back and say, right, we're going to give them a chance. Some of them I've got less hope for than others. Like, I don't think we're going to be giving much of a chance to Jed Spence. And I think, yeah, I don't think Reguilon's going to get much of a chance to play. I wouldn't be surprised if Reguilon goes out on another goal and Jed Spence gets sold in January. A fairly considerable loss. But, I mean, it's not my choice to make. It's the manager's choice to make to start with, and we'll see what he wants to do and how he takes things.
I think they both get sold, to be quite honest.
You think somebody will buy Reguilon?
So, yeah. When he came, he played for Barcelona, for goodness sake. He's got some talent. When he came in, I remember him putting
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, sorry.
Yeah.
Some Spanish team, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
But when he came in, I remember him putting 2 crosses in, one for Harry Kane, and I can't remember who the other one was for. And I thought, my God, what a player we've got here. And so he's got basic talent. I don't know what his problem has been, whether it's attitude, whether it's been playing in the wrong team or what. But someone is going to buy him because he's got a skill set, full stop.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention something you just said, Stu, a few minutes ago about what it takes to be a professional. I have worked with professional athletes over here quite extensively, working on interviewing them, doing blogs with them, whatever, and got some insights and the dedication that they have. Like NFL players say, okay, we won today or we lost today, and on the plane back on our tablets, we're already looking at game plan for next week's game. Anyway, so the level that it takes, the professionalism. I watched this morning early Newport County, which is my hometown team, League Two team, never get out of League Two, playing a non-league team, Eastleigh, and at a ground that was 10 minutes away from where I used to live, the rugby ground, Rodney Parade. And, you know, and you watch the players, and they actually, you see a couple of passes, you go, that could work in the Premier League. But managers have said the difference is that they don't do it consistently enough. And that's the difference between that league and the Premier League. But just to get to that level that these guys in League Two and non-league is just so way above us on our couches going, well, I could do that, or I could do that. I'm going, no, you couldn't, you know. So really good point, Stu, about what it takes to actually get to a professional level. And then just because this news, I went out swimming this morning and I'm on my phone. I go, what? Timo Werner? That's kind of exciting. I hope he's healthy. I hope Ange can help him, because it has to, with Sonny away, we have to deal with possible lack of goals over the next few games. Is this guy going to help? I hope so.
There's something about Timo Werner that intrigues me. I mean, I remember him playing for Chelsea, and there's clearly a good player there. You know, really, really hardworking. He'll run the channels. He'll do what you need to. He does get himself caught offside a lot, and he missed a few sitters. Okay. Whereas in Germany, he was really clinical, and he was pulling off a few wonder goals. And he comes over to UK, and I think it's mental. So I mean, I can't remember which Chelsea managers he played under.
20.
I know it's 2020, so it'd be
Tuchel was the second one, because
Conte.
No, Conte. Who was before Tuchel?
Oh, I'm going to look up.
No idea.
Yeah. But Tuchel.
Frank Lampard, isn't it?
Lampard. You're right.
Lampard, yeah.
Lampard
So
and
I mean,
Tuchel.
are they the guys to unlock that confidence, to unlock that ability?
No.
I don't
Yep.
know. I mean, if you've got a guy who suffers a bit with confidence, who's not 100% sure of things all the time, maybe just having someone like Ange Postecoglou who will give a player confidence, who will work with him on his game, and who will there will be lots and lots of chances for Timo Werner, not just to play, but also to impress and score goals. So with that, could Ange be exactly the guy that they need? What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think looking at all the managers in the Premiership in the last 10 or 15 years, if I wanted to play football, then I played at a reasonable non-league standard.
Mm.
I played against league players. If I wanted to play for someone that I thought would let me actually play with freedom and confidence, the one man that I'd want to play for is Ange Postecoglou, because I think he reads people well. He reads different people, and he's intelligent, and I think he knows how to manage each different player and give them what they want. So I think that Werner could do extraordinarily well under Postecoglou. And the fact that Postecoglou wants him, because I trust his judgment, is a big yes for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we've got it. We paid €5 million, I believe, for a 6-month loan. And we just pay something like 17 to 18 million euros if we want to keep him after that. And we're paying his wages. Now, Leipzig wages are not going to be huge. They're not going to be, Harry Kane wages. They'll be decent, but then, any Premier League players' wages right now are decent, certainly to people like us or myself, certainly. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what can happen. And having seen clips of him and seen him play and seen Furuhashi at Celtic, I see elements that are very similar there. And I think Ange Postecoglou turned Furuhashi into a 20-goal league season striker. And I think he can do exactly the same thing with Timo Werner. And I really, really think if he gets this right, it will be fantastic. And of course, Timo Werner can play attacking midfield, so he can play centrally, he can play right, and he can play left, as well as playing up front. So we've got another player, which we've talked about before, another player who is modulable, who can play in different positions.
Multifunctional.
Multifunctional indeed.
And who has pace.
Very, very quick. Very quick.
Ange likes
Which the way we play, we could probably do with someone who's got that outright burst of pace the way that Sonny used to. Maybe Sonny's a tiny bit slower than he was before. Not a lot. But if we can just get a ball through and run onto it, that would be great.
this is I love this, that the Ange, he probably has his own fingertips and whatever out there, and he knows what's going on, even though he goes, there's not going to be no magic in January and whatever. You got to know that this is his type of player, and in combination with, we can't spend too much, and then being more innovative or perceptive in finding talent that might be under the radar. This could be really good. I hope there's a couple more.
The other thing we've got to remember about Werner is he knows what the Premier League is like.
Absolutely.
He's not coming in and he's not going to need time to adapt. He knows what the Premier League is like. He's played there before. He knows exactly what the demands are going to be placed of him. And Ange isn't going to, spit shine it or anything. He's going to tell him straight out, this is what I need from you. This is what I need you to do. This is how we're going to do it. And if it works, we get a very, very good striker, because in Germany, he was scoring, a goal every 1.5 games or so?
28 goals the season before he came to the Premier League.
27 years old, so getting close to the prime of his career for a striker. For less than we spent on Van der Ven.
Yeah.
How do we see him lining up in the front 3 or 4?
I think he'll be up front. I think he'll take the place of Richarlison.
And where would Richarlison go?
Bench. I think, again, it will be horses for courses, same way it has been for Richarlison and Sonny.
So you would put right now, where would you put? By the way, we should also ask: Is Johnson better on the right? So without Sonny there, so what are those front three guys then? If you're putting in Werner,
Well, I would going by yesterday, the way that Johnson looked, I would play him down the left.
Yeah.
I would play Kulusevski down the right.
Yeah.
And I would play Werner through the centre until things change in February when Sonny gets back. When Sonny gets back, then Brennan Johnson has an issue to worry about, which maybe causes Kulusevski an issue to worry about. And of course, we've got Manor Solomon coming back as well.
Yeah. If Lo Celso, what a surprise, maybe out for the next game. Well, he's got a week to recover. Maybe does Kulusevski move into that 10 role? And then how do we adjust those front three?
You want to play Kulusevski at the 10, then you play Brennan Johnson right. You play Richarlison either left or central, and Werner either left or central.
Okay,
Again, you've got that adaptability, which we can bring to players.
Do you agree with that, Austin? Do you think that Richarlison goes to the bench if Werner comes in?
I think that Richarlison will start and that Werner will go to the bench and he'll be brought on as an impact sub just to in the first game. I don't think that's what's planned, but in the first game, I think he'll start from the bench.
Yeah.
But one thing I read today is that apparently Lo Celso's attitude in recent times has changed completely, and that he's much more engaging in the dressing room. He's talking English in the dressing room, and he seems really to have settled into the team rather than being the sort of slightly peripheral figure that he's been in the time that he's been with us. And I think that's actually been reflected in his most recent performances because he seems much more inclined to get on the ball, much more inclined to be authoritative with the ball, and he looks a different player again.
Bought into the system. Apparently, he's become a father. Settles you down.
Yeah.
Bought into the system, which obviously I read the same thing.
I've been a father for years. It hasn't settled me down, but that's just that's personal. That's
No, I think GLC's come through fairly nicely this season. Again, we had a period under Mourinho where he was the best player at the club for a while. You know, I don't think we can say that now because even him at his best was not a touch on Bentancur.
Right.
So, you know, I think Bentancur is now the best player at the club.
Yeah.
When he doesn't even have to be on top form. He was sublime at times yesterday. But just the idea of Bissouma, Bentancur, and Maddison together, just kind of a little bit of drool coming out the side of your mouth. You know, wipe that away because we need to.
Funny you said those three. Where does Sarr fit in those three?
Sarr's a player that's definitely got a place. I mean,
on the bench,
Austin and I, it's a bench, but it's also a rotation place. You know, with the way that Bissouma plays, Bissouma's going to get suspensions. Bissouma needs to be protected for his own good at times, and Sarr will come in then. I mean, Sarr's already played a lot of football this year for a young player, probably more than we expected him to. So with that, let's hope he can continue to do that because he is such a good player. Austin and I were talking about earlier today about Joe Bellingham because Joe Bellingham has been linked to the club. Watching him play against Newcastle today, and I didn't think he looked out of place. But if he comes in, then he's immediately providing competition for someone like Sarr. You know,
who is this? Who? Sorry, you said Jude Bellingham?
Joe,
no,
not
Joe
Wish.
Bellingham.
Joe,
his younger brother.
Oh, they are related. Okay, no,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid, Joe Bellingham, Sunderland. Slight difference between the two, but he's a very good rangy midfielder. Looks like he's got a decent touch on him. I enjoyed watching him. Yeah, really, really good. And he ate up the yards there. I thought the way he was playing.
Yeah, and he's mature
for an 18-year-old. Absolutely. But
Yeah,
yeah, we've got Werner done. Jed Spence is back. Reguilon is back. Dane Scarlett is back and playing for us last night.
where does Dane fit in now that we got Werner? Dane goes, oh crap, you know.
There's a lot of space. It's a big bench. It's a lot of space on that bench. So we can.
I was actually impressed with a couple of Scarlett's touches last night. He looked good and he worked really hard.
I was impressed with the way he played, not so much with the facial hair, but that's an entirely different matter. I thought he's gone away. He's gone to Ipswich. He's tried to make himself look more manly by growing a little beard. I was like, no, it doesn't work for you, Dane. Go back to
He's
the
been
baby
in the
face, mate.
country, my dear. He's been in the
In the
country.
country.
That's what they do in the country. Arr.
Which one guy who's most probably going out, and since we were talking about wages and Werner coming in, think about how much money we're saving if Dyer goes. Dyer must be on over 100K at least. That's a lot of savings. That's 400K a month. And if you're saying that Werner they probably don't get paid that much in the Bundesliga, so that might be covered by Dyer going out. His wages.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, Dyer apparently was on 100 grand a week. I would be surprised if Werner was any more than 70 or 80K a week at Leipzig, because they're not known. I mean, even though they're a well-backed club, I don't think they're known for paying huge salaries. They're often known for developing players and having them come through and go on to be the next big thing.
And they're probably still controlled by the Stasi.
Well, they're owned by Red Bull, so
Are they?
tapped into. Yeah, that's what the RB and the RB Leipzig stands for.
Oh,
So,
right, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, they'll tell you it's Rosbal or something like that, Red Football Club or something like that, but it's not. Everybody knows it's not.
Just remember Stefan
yeah.
Freund's comments when he was with us, because the
Yeah.
Stasi were involved in him in his childhood, and he had to be very careful what he said when he became a footballer.
Yes, I believe the Stasi were involved in at least one of his transfers. So yes, that was interesting.
Should we keep Brian Hill? He had a pretty proactive game yesterday.
I said in the comments, to me, he looks like a number 10 playing out wide.
Oh, interesting.
He's got the technical skills, he's got the ability. I think we need to be getting him dropping into the hole, picking out passes, because I think he can do it. But you've got to have that confidence in him to actually go out and make that position his own.
I think he's getting the belief. I think he looks as though he's become more confident in his own game the more he's played in the last 3 or 4 games, and he's also shown a bit more physicality than he was showing originally. He looks like he's able to sort of look after himself just a little bit better. He's nowhere near the complete article, but I like the development I'm seeing with him.
No, I think he's come on quite nicely. Again, he's another player. It's about confidence with him. I don't think he's ever going to be bulked up to be, a massive Adama Traore type player. That's never going to happen.
Or
he's
Modric.
Modric's strength was in his thighs, wasn't it? He was.
Yeah, but Modric. My point is that Modric is a short guy, and there was a picture of him. I'm going, he's still starting for Real Madrid. It's unbelievable, But,
I believe in his last game he had
talking about
more.
the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah. Modric, I think, had more key passes in his last game than any other player in La Liga so far this season.
Wow.
So he's still an excellent player. Kind of think, mate, does he want to come back? Because we could do we want a little maestro and orchestra string puller in there? That would be nice.
I'd have him for a season.
Yeah.
I
don't think he'll come.
No, it's not happening.
I met somebody just randomly on the street yesterday with their baby and his wife, and he's from Bosnia. He's a graphic artist, and we talked some business. But he said Modric had played in that league, and he said it was a really, really tough league. The pitches, the everything about it, physical, elbows, everything. And I go, oh, so that's where he got toughened up, in the Bosnian league. So I'm going, wow, did not know that.
Yeah, I think that's where he made his competitive debut. He was on loan into the Bosnian league and apparently got kicked from pillar to post. First time I saw him play was in the UEFA Cup, as it was then, playing against Rennes. Because I was there watching Rennes, and I knew this kid Modric. I'd heard of him, and it was a bitterly cold night. The pitch was like an ice skating rink, and he just stood out a mile. And I thought, wow, what a player he is. And then when I heard we were linked with him, I was like, no chance. There is no chance we're signing Luka. Oh my God, we've just signed Luka Modric. How does that happen? So
Stu.
Yeah. Well, we're all a little bit international here. Even Austin's bit further away, isn't he? Up north.
Up
So,
north, aye.
aye.
And then Park Manx.
There you go.
So we will have an extra game this month, by the way, now.
We have one on the 27th. We don't know who it's going to be against yet.
Right. So
So-
three more games this month.
Yeah, which is still a very, very light schedule.
Yeah.
So we've got what, 7 days now, 8 days until the Manchester United game.
Sunday, yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, yeah, 9 days, isn't it?
Nice, something like that. Yeah, 8 days
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Which is
It's ironic after the grouping of games that we've had in recent
Oh.
weeks, where we've played every 2 or 3 days, and then suddenly we've got 8 days before we play a game. Seems a little unfair.
little bit, but I think we'll take this time to get some rest back into the players and give them a
Oh,
chance
look,
to
complaining.
decompress and hopefully get a couple more players back fit. I would be very, very happy to see Van der Ven. Obviously, I think he's going to be needed now because Ben Davies has got a hamstring injury. So Van der Ven is going to be needed to play against Man U from the start. It would be lovely to see Maddison lining up with him. Is that too much to hope for? Because Maddison, yeah, then we don't have to worry about playing Kulusevski on the right, do we? That'd be really nice.
It'd be nice
Who-
to see the leg breaker back for that game as well, but I don't think he will be.
I don't know. He's got some time.
Who would you put
Yeah.
next? Who would you, if Van de Ven is available for, well, he's available, whether or not he starts, who would you put next to him? If this other guy, Dragusin, doesn't come in, would we still start Royal there?
Oh yeah,
I
you
think
got
Royal
to
has
start.
been absolutely superb. He's been
He was
so
fantastic yesterday.
positive.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. He was not only doing his centre back duties, but he's also pushing forward and had a few good runs yesterday. I thought he did really well. We're
Yeah.
starting to see the best of him, I think.
Yes.
So more of the same, please, because we've got a long, long season to go.
Yeah, and some few extra games now. Well, one
Yeah.
at least, anyway, so.
Something I
Yeah.
think we do need to be careful of right now is the homegrown players and the squad size. We're starting to build again a very big squad, and our homegrown numbers are low. So we're going to have to be very, very careful on who we include for the next step. Obviously, Hugo is gone, which again, huge savings on. He was on over 200 grand a week.
Yes,
So
huge saving.
that's a lot of money we're going to be saving.
Three-quarters of
Perisic,
a million a month.
something like, yeah. Perisic is out injured. He won't be back this season. There's a very good chance he'll be sent on loan to Hajduk Split or sold to Hajduk Split before
He
the
will
end
never
of the
play for the
window.
club again.
He won't. We can't include him in the squad because he just will
No.
never be fit, and we need the spaces. Region, I think, will probably go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Jed Spence, although Jed Spence does count as homegrown, he will go somewhere else. I'm fairly sure.
Yeah.
But we've got fit Timo Werner in. I think also
You just brought Scarlett in, so there's home.
no, Scarlett counts as homegrown, so that's fine.
Right.
We've got plenty of space for homegrown players. Also, I'm not sure he's not 21 yet, is he? He's 20, so
I think he's 20.
Yeah,
Doesn't
be in
even
the
count
under
that
21 section.
Right.
Dragusin, I think, will count as under 21 for this season, but next season we'll need to find a space for him if Dragusin comes in, of course.
Yes.
There's a lot to find out and be sure of on that one.
Moving.
It sounds good. It sounds positive. We'll see whether it actually ends up that way.
Have you watched? I haven't any clips of him play at all.
Yeah, I've seen as much as I can, as much as you can tell from YouTube and the little bits you find here and there. He's a committed player. There are hints of Christian Romero in there. I tell you, he's got to be a pairing of those two is who's going to get sent off first, I suspect. But
There are hints
I
of
think
Van Dijk in there as well.
he's dominant in the air, absolutely dominant in the air. He's 21. The other thing is, players seem to fall over around him quite a lot. You watch him play, and he'll go in side by side of a player, and the other guy will hit the ground, and he'll just come away calmly with the ball. You're like, wonder what happened there. So yeah, I really like him as a player. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think that natural aggression needs to be channeled. But also, I mean, in the air, he's a monster. He's scored goals already this season. He scored against Inter. And it looks like he's able to pass out from the back as well, even though it's not one of the things he's been noted for at Genoa. It looks like the times he's been needed to, he's been able to play it out quite calmly from the back. He's
Yeah.
played in a 3-man back line, so he's always had someone right next to him he can pass it off to. So one of those things you'll find as we go along.
Good addition if we get him.
If we get Werner, which looks like it's absolutely going to happen because Romano's giving it the here we go. If we get Dragoshin, which looks like it could happen, do we see any more business? Do we need any more business, or is that it?
I don't know. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see us sign 3 or possibly 4 players. But I don't know.
We've got to move a lot of players out then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we really don't have any cover for Udogie on the left, you know, because I don't know if Sessegnon is going to be cover for him. So, and with Ben out, what cover do we have? Royal, you know, you can't.
I'm kind of hoping the Ben Davis thing is the same as Pat Matasar. Pat Matasar complained of hamstring. I'm hoping it's the same thing, as in like tomorrow it'll be over. It'll be fine. It was just a small concern and it's all been cleared. That's my hope. I don't think it's going to go that way because we're not that lucky. But yeah, yes. Ben Davis, if he's fit. Sessegnon, if we need to. Royale can also play out left. Has done.
He can't play 2 positions.
Well, no. But if we bring in Dragoshin, then he doesn't need to.
If we bring him in.
So there goes.
So we were just thinking about, you know, cover for your
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he is. But we really don't have great cover for him.
Okay, so let's look forward. We've got Manchester United up next. Of course, we will be doing a video the night afterwards. Again, it will be live on YouTube, just as this one is. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And after that, we're going to have FA Cup 4th round and then Brentford. Now, the day after Brentford is the day that the transfer window closes. And what we've decided to do, I'm not quite sure who's joining me here, but we're going to be doing a 3-hour live broadcast going from about 2 hours before the end of the transfer window all the way through to the end of the transfer window and then an hour afterwards. So there any late deals, we can discuss that as well. I don't think there's going to be a lot from Spurs, but we can look at other clubs and we can talk about what's going on there. We can talk about how the squad's been shaping up. And of course, the Brentford game, which hopefully will be a nice little tidy result for us.
Okay, what day and date and hours is that? So the day is the day.
It's the 1st of February, which is a Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Yeah, Thursday, the 1st of February. And
we start at what time UK time?
9 p.m. UK time, because the window closes at 11 p.m. UK time.
Okay, that's 1. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to beg off at 12 o'clock UK time. I've got a session to do at that time, but I can come in early on it, you know.
Come in, show your face, say hello to everybody, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. Until then, everybody, thank you very, very much for joining us. We will ensure that there is more stuff going on, and let's hope that we continue to have some good stuff. In the meantime, until then, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wanted to say, if I haven't, Oz, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well, mate.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Stu beforehand,